bet his king here. In terms of size, like 3x fine. If you play against a weaker opponent here, you can 3-bet bigger. That's why I'm not doing this. Because in general, like they call the same if you do like 3.3, 3.4, and you just win more with ace king. However, because you play 50 deep, I think 3x is still the best size. On the button, you should size 7 because you have a calling range, but I think you can just size 6 the same anyway. On this board, you want to bet because like it's a really good board for you in favors your range a lot, so you can just push your equity. And typically, you choose you choose out around half pot 60%. 1/3 doesn't make that much sense, and you prefer to just like size bigger so you get more money fast with your value region, and you have enough equity to do so, and you don't have any decrease of equity realization. That's why you should play this as a bet half. But against a rack, here he's gonna call like king suited, like ace 10, ace 9 suited. So I like to do this size so I can like dominate some a6 calls. But there is an ace. I bet again here. I think you should always bet. The reason why I don't bet more than half pots because we'll have close to a pot size bets, and I don't think he will fold an ace. So my goal now is to like make call a jack. Actually, because he doesn't have too many jack X. Yes, like one is jack suited, 2 king jacks. I think we need to target things like yeah, like an ace. I think alpha is fine. Like typically the size will be even smaller. Like you can size you can bet kings and queens here, so like you're gonna have 2 size. I'll put you the sim. I didn't put it on wizard, so maybe I'm wrong, but I think you should have 2 size. And I don't expect the small size to gain that much money because the value is coming from him raising with pocket pairs, and I don't think it's going to ever happen on an ace. So yeah, I think betting off is fine. He fold. Okay. King Jack I open. On this board, well, Queen 7-5 is like decent for you. Typically, you'll mix here. You don't have range bets. In terms of size, you can have like a small 3-quarter region. And you can size half pots. I think you can play half pot check here is fine. And on the 7 of heart, the reason why I check this flop because he's actually really weak to delay and he doesn't probe that much. So in this case, the air region benefits more from the check because you realize you're pretty better. And he's gonna bet a queen on the turn anyway. So now when he check, he's actually quite weak. And that's why I expect the check to be a bit better. And this time it's a fold. I don't mind betting, it's just like I'll bet more with the diamond. It's better to have a removal to the calling range and also have more equity. Okay. Okay, so we play one guy heads up on the left. Well, in general, when people sit me, and like it's the last table, so if I stay and there is a wreck, I'm never leaving because like a fish is going to come anyway one day. So yeah, and also like I like to have the lobby when I can. So like I prefer to never sit out, even if I lose some money. But I just sit out like few people a little better than me, but otherwise I'm playing. Even if I feel like the guy has like a small edge against me, like I'm still gonna play. Because again, I'm gonna gain EV by being on the table. If, for example, we are like at early morning, there is like nobody. In general, I play at this time in this time zone. Then I'm not taking the seats, and in general, I leave. If the guy battle for, in general, I battle for like 1-2 hours. If I see that he's staying more and there is no recreational player, and it's the morning, I'm gonna let the seat because if a recreational player is coming, I'll have the seat anyway. But if we're in the afternoon, there is like 15 regs just clicking the button extremely fast to join the table, then it's probably better to battle a little bit. So if you have a recreational player coming, you have the table. Okay, he bet big here. So I have a read on this guy. He's just betting he's betting too many hands for big size, flop, turn. So like I can call Jack 10 and raise the turn. I can actually do that because he might just overbluff the turn. So but I think I check raising directly here is fine. He doesn't have the low a6 region in his size, so I think it's actually better to call and check raise the turn. He will have too many air, I think, in the bet turn line. And when you check raise the turn, you represent super strong and you take the money out of the air region. So that's just a slightly mistake for me. I think I should just play as a check or check raise against someone playing way too aggressively on the flop. But check raise is not that bad. Yeah, also you prefer not to have the 10 of clubs, but that's not going to change that much. Okay, ace king here. I'm close to the stack side of the rect, so I'm playing 75 deep because actually, there is no point. We were on the deep. I know how to play 75 deep, so I can just wait for the recreational player to just give me his stack. And if he's like deeper than me, I'll try to always play 100 deep. Okay. 10-6 open, fold. I think I sit out. Yeah. The reason why I sit out is because it's technical. The reg is coming now. Like I have no EV to play. Like I can just sit out and come back at the sits if a fish is coming back. And also like there's only 4 people watching, so not too many players in the pool. And now I actually have super bad seats. So that's why I'm not playing. Because I was playing here, so the recreational is going to come here, we'll be in position. But like now, what's the point? You know, we are free, like it's gonna come here or here. Yeah, just prepare to leave. Okay. King 5. I would have like seen myself opening this. So the reason why I think it's fine as an open is just only because of this guy. So like it changed the EV of your hand because he's gonna call more stuff. And even with a weaker portion, he's gonna win more. Of course, if everybody's over free betting, then this hand lose money. But what's going to happen in general, so I actually slightly under free bet and calling a bit more just to let this guy into the pot. So King 6 is the bottom, but I think you can open King 5, like it's fine. Okay, let's review the hands and play a little bit if we see you showdown. Okay, King 10. You should mix again with like check and bet. You can bet every size, like pot, 3/4, half pot, like whatever you want. If you want to bet all for range, you're not gonna have too much if you regret. So I'm fine with this strategy. Linus was playing half pot range close to every board. GG against big blind like 3 years ago. So if the goat is doing it, that's fine. Okay, let's see the hand he plays so we can work the not taking. Okay. Bet small flop. If you bet the turn, okay, so you bet way too much. It's something I saw already from him. And I really don't like the check of King 10. I think like the 1/3 region, I'm not gonna put 7 in his 1/3 on the turn. For me, it's checking super often. It's quite surprising to see his hand. But in general, the 1/3 region is just low queen X Jack X. And in general, draws just play as a check or bet big. I don't see how like intuitively they can put draws in 1/3. And yes, you can have 10-9, but it's actually not a big problem because if you can have 10-9, it means we can also have 10-9 in our perceived region. We don't have 10-9, to be clear, but like some people will see us on 10-9 because something a lot of players forget is like a recreational player is not gonna always think about what you did on the flop. I mean, it depends on the guy. I mean, probably this guy like he understands you don't have 10-9. But the thing I want to say is because there was draws available and you don't have too many bluff in your perceived region, like what are you bluffing with? You know, 4 or deuce? I think it's way better to bet because the range we face here is super weak. And when you just lead pot or overbet, like most people fold. So I would just bluff absolutely everything. Like if I have a 4 or deuce, I'm bluffing. And I'm gonna call like a bit wider than I should on the turn, just because I know I can bluff a lot of runouts. And not a lot of them, but I can bluff clearly like the straight run out. And like if a 9 is coming, I can bluff that. And if a heart is coming, I can bluff, and he will overfold like when heart comes. So I think it should be a little time. I really don't like check. It's okay. Okay, set up opens, it folds. Queen 8 ISO here, it's fine, a bit loose. Best move the flop. Whatever, like if they're passive, it's way better to check because they're gonna bet an ace and just check the rest. So like because they're not gonna protect enough their checking range on the turn, like you can just apply pressure by delaying. I think both strats are fine. Just when you don't know the guy, it's still okay to see bet. Especially because in general, like A6 are more in the opening line, but you can have a bunch of A6 also here, of course. So I think it's whatever. Yeah, I would prefer to check actually. I prefer to check, but betting is okay. Okay. King Jack, slow frequency free bets. Yeah. Actually, I think I have it like 20% of the time, something. Don't remember exactly. Okay. Any time of size, like you can do whatever you want. Like if you do 12 blinds, 10, it's not changing anything. And in general, I prefer to play with small size, as I know the differences on post-flop strat between the big size and the small. And sometimes people don't, so it's all actually like massive deviations. It's not that massive most of the time. In general, like when you free bet smaller, you bet more, and he needs to defend more. And when you play against, which is not the case, but I'm telling you for your stakes, if you play against a weaker player, I will prefer to use the small sizing because in general post flops they will overfold against c-bet and against turn barrel. And if they overfold, the ends should call, then you're gonna win money on the long run. So I advise you to free bet smaller blinds. But again, it's not gonna like change a lot. And here I'm gonna free bet the smaller size because I mean this guy is playing well. Okay. Ace-5 against limp and a raise. We always have a raise here. So this guy is playing like weird strategy. He probably played 50% of ends, and he limps like 20% of them. He's actually a balanced limp ranges. Like he's limping strong ends, he's limping weak ends. But even with this information, like we just need to raise. And the sizing should be massive because if he calls, you don't want him to call. And really big, like they're gonna fold often, and like this guy will never call you when this guy folds. So like we have a profitable ISO here, and our ISO extremely polar. And I think it's good in this situation. Exploitatively to ISO really a lot because like nobody's gonna call like and can we raise you anyway. So yeah, I think it's good if you raise more in this spot, especially at your stakes where like people exploit you way less. Yeah, so I'll tend to do that. Okay, so let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, 9-5 is I mean it's a deviation, but whatever. Okay, checkers the flop. Well, this hand should never check raise. I checked it already. I just randomized and it was in the 10% range, and for me it was took at least 10%, but it's not took. Like it's really better to have an 8 just for like removal effect, and yeah, so it's just better. And also like I have enough like high low ends to raise, so I don't need 9-5. It's always a call. So I check raise. In terms of size, like we discussed a little bit, and he told me he only check raise 4x in the spots, and he simplified. I think it's a good simplification. I will tend to like raise 4x all the time, except a6 ball where I just raise 7x. But in general, if you only have 4x as a raise side, I think it's a really good simplification. And yeah, so this end should not be taken. I should check like the 5 deuce 5-4. But in game, I thought it was 10%. So anyway, and the turn now, I know it's a deviation again. Like if you want to overbet, you need to have like lower cards. Because the problem is the 9 is not clean now. If I bet big, he's gonna call some Jack 10, and you know you want to have clean 2 pair outs. And so when I bet big, I isolate myself against stronger hands. And also he has all the kings suited, all the ace suited. So I'm isolating myself too much, and I need to check. It's a clear mistake here. Probably the main reason I did that is because I had read on this guy that he will probably overfold a little bit on the turn. But the ends are going to overfold the turn. I'm gonna check anyway. Like I can bluff the river if I want. So I don't really like the way I played. I think it's a mistake. It's really like a small deviation. But if you do this like over and over, like just because of the bad removal effect, you're gonna lose a little bit of money if they play well enough against strat. Probably the reason that like let me tend to overbet. I mean, it's not only sizing here. You just play polo. Is that he? Yeah, I need to call like Jackson tens. But the thing is, even if he doesn't call with Jackson tens, he needs to fold some king X. I don't think people fold with king. I don't know. Like the strat I have is like I fold king X with the butt kicker. So if I block the bluff and you know, my 2 pair outs like make too much straights, and I call Jackson tens. The reason why is because facing a polar range, you actually prefer to have Jackson tens compared to a king sometimes. But of course, if you have a higher king unblocking the bluffs, then it's better to have a king than pocket X, pocket tens. And pocket jacks, pocket tens have 2 outs against the value region. So yeah. So I don't like it. I can just check here. It's not good. Okay, and reverse, just give up and fold. Okay. Okay, king queen. I open, check the flop. So I play range check here. I did a coaching on GTO wizards. So if you want to know a little bit like why I use this strategy and how I compensate the regret I have on the flops, because queen you should be close to range bet. It's gonna be range bet rainbow balls, and when there is a shoot, it's close. So yeah. Anyway, on the turn I bet 3/4. It's fine. Okay. Queen 6. Okay. That's so funny. Wow, it's insane. I played the exact same board against Limitless. Like the exact same board. And I don't know, it's not the exact, but it was like King Jack, I think 7, like King Jack 6 ace. So I know exactly what you should do with Queen 6. It close to the same frequency because I remember I put the spot in the solver like 1 week ago, or something. So I had Queen 8 on King Jack 7, and you actually check all the time because like you have a removal on the fold that is more important than like the 6 or 5. So with Queen 6 you can actually bet, but you're gonna bet mainly the Queen Deuce, Queen 3, Queen 4 because they block less folds. Yeah, so that's why I will tend to like mix with this hand. And I think in game I did like, I don't remember how much I randomized, probably 50-50. Okay, check. And now on the river, I'm going to bet this one. And if I have like, for example, the end block to check back, then I'm gonna check. And I'm not gonna check that much because 10 is really good for me. I'm gonna have a lot of Queen X. So I think it's better to just like small bets. And in terms of size, you can probably have two sides. I'm gonna simplify. I'm only gonna bet 1/3 here, and just put like the best two pairs in the sets and the Queen X in the same size. And yeah, I'm gonna check ends that block to check back. So I think I'm gonna check like Queen 10. Yeah, because checking back a 10, same as a king. So I need to have the card that blocks the most check back. So I think it's a king actually. Like against the range check strat, he has way more king X than jack X. So I should check king queen. Like a little bit of queen jack, I think. But as a simplification, I can just check back all the time king queen and like check back less queen jack, queen 10. Super interesting end. Let's review it in the. So the board is king jack 8. As you will see, it's like close to range bet, but I use like range check deviation. I'm not gonna talk too much about it. But yes, you can bet range as a simplification, and you don't lose too much EV when you check, especially when villain doesn't counter your strategy well enough. So check. Big blind should only play polar on this board, and he should check back some king queen, which not a lot of people will do. Turn was the ace of spade, and we had queen 6. And okay, that's so weird. It was the same board, but it's not the exact same frequency. Yeah. Maybe it was not the exact same one. I don't know because I remember in my sim like you actually betted more queen deuce. So as we see, like queen 6 should bet closer all the time. So like that's a tiny mistake. But I remember in game I was like, well, it's the same as the ball I saw. What happened if I put a lower card like a 5? No, you still bet. Mistake. Okay, that's just a mistake. Around the max 50-50, so I don't bet enough the queen X region. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm not losing that much. But especially when I play range check and the check back, I should probably bet that. Anyway, and you're gonna play mainly polar here, because even if you can have queen 10, like you have a huge advantage here with the ace king region. So range breakdown here, like yeah, you just dominate this part. If I can simplify like that, and then it creates a reason for you to overbet, especially when you don't have like decrease of equity realization. Okay, so check, check, and now we want to see which queen X I want to check, and I think it should be king queen and jack queen at some frequency. So we check queen jack. We never check a queen. Okay, so at least I got that, even if I did the small mistakes on the turn. You check king queen. It seems to check more queen jack, but it's not changing that much. And if you have queen 10, you never check. And the reason why is because the 10 is gonna bet more than a jack before. I think a jack is unblocking more the betting region, so that's why you check queen jack, not queen 10. I think in game, as I say, like I would just check all the time king queen, mix queen jack, and just probably mix also queen 10 if I'm honest. Probably did a slightly mistake here. In terms of block bets, you mix with the A6 region, and you are mainly have a block. You can have 3/4, but I'm gonna simplify. I don't have any 3/4 here. Just gonna play check or small. At time of bluff, you just bluff the low region. As you see, you need to have some give ups actually, especially with diamonds. The thing is, when you have diamonds, you're like blocking more the check give up because people bet less with diamonds compared to clubs or hearts. So when you have a 6 and a 5, you have like bad removal, and then you want to check a bit more. That's why the EV in the betting line is a bit lower. Yeah, I mean that's all, and you need to give up sometimes. I think I saw only one give up in my life on Winamax. It's okay. In general, people just bluff fire like every air here. Anyway, okay, Queen 10 open. Yeah, check the flop. So flop is a mix against a regional player. It's actually not that bad to check like 75D because when I don't have a hand, I can free barrel. Like I actually prefer to check. And in case he's over probing, like when I win massive with my hands, he's gonna probe too many weak combos. I think it's better to play it as a check, especially when there is one shoot on the balls, because now there is more runouts. Now there are more runouts where I should just check the turn. So I'm gonna bet rainbow against a regional player, and if it's suited, I'm checking. You can bet. I mean, whatever. Like the lines work well is like bet, check and call, but I will do that on balls where there's more natural draws. On King 5 deuce, he has like H3, H4, but he might show on them on the river, and he only have like 4, 6, 3, 4. But if the ball is like King 9, 6, for example, he has way more combos, and then I'm more incentivized to bet because he will have more bluff in the betting line on the river. So that's how I change my strategy depending on which King's ball it is. Okay, I call the turn, and the river he checks. I have the best hand right now, and bet on spot, and he fold. No, he called with ace queen. Okay, I didn't remember that. Okay, interesting. And what's great also is like these lines. I'm not gonna say they're overcall. I don't know, but when you check and you bet after, you have less value in and more air. So the calling region on 2 street can call you even more than if you bet flop bet turn. And you can let the air region on the turn. So, but I really think checking super with King 10 here. I'm not gonna check King Queen. I think when you start to have like 3 streets, you need to bet all the time. But I like the way I play King 10, and the sizing on the river his range is really weak. I don't think you can take more value here. I really like the spot. I think it's the best size. 10-9 here. I'm gonna range bet this flop. As simplification. I can play out spot or check also. In general, I will tend to play as GTO as I can on the flop. But with 10-9 in the spots, I think it's probably a bit better to like range bet. And typically it's really close. Of course, difference than if it was 2-9. Because 9s are obviously better for you. So if I put 9-9-4, you're range betting. I mean close to range betting. And it depends also on the range on the sim. And if I put 9-4-4, you need to have more check. So yeah, but if you range bet, the DV regret is close to 0. Like it's fine, especially if your opponent is aggressive and you do enough to close defense. Like you're probably not losing that much anyway. So if I put this simulation and I remove the check, and after I compare both EVs, now we see we actually lose 0.01, so nothing. So we can range bet. And it's 0.01 if he's countering you well now, but if he doesn't, you win more money. So that's why at your stakes you can range bet. Okay, on the turn is a jack. I'm gonna play with. I think you have 2 size, but when I'm not sure about the size, I'm playing only with 1. And I think here, like, you actually need to bet 3/4. You don't want to bet bigger than that. You might have like a small overbetting range, like few percents, but I think it's like main size is 3/4. And you're gonna bet 10s again. You might bet ace-9, but like 10-9 is not way too low. So I'm gonna check this. And now on the river, snap check. I think you have 2 sides. You have half and 3/4, and I put this one in the half pot. I also think you can have overbet with the 9x region. So you might have 3 sides here. I don't know. Okay, so there's overbet in 3/4. I thought it would be way more 3/4, but like you can do both. And as you see, the difference in EV compared to overbets in 3/4 is really close with like a lot of hands. So you can actually 3/4. That's fine. And 10-9 is which is always in a check, and on the river, and if a 9 comes and he checks, let's see. So we have half around 60. We have overbets, I think we also have 3/4, but the thing is like in this node you have like you don't have the proper size, but I mean it's not huge problem. Because if you add 3/4 like an output, you will use the free size. And 10 is, as you see, is a mix and is mainly the output size. Yeah, so that's fine, like nothing special. Pocket 9 side open, he calls. The board is 8-8-5, I bet small. So I can't value bet free streets on most runouts. Okay, if the 5 comes, if 8 come, an 8 is fine. Yeah. If a 10 or jack or queen or king or ace comes, I can't value bet free streets. So I'm not gonna have my sizing. If I have jacks, for example, or queens where I cover more overcards, and I'm gonna size bigger against the fish. If I have an 8, I really want him to call the regions, so I'm gonna bet a bit smaller. And if I have, for example, pocket 5, I'm gonna bet smaller also. So my sizing will depend on my hand, and I will have between 3 and 4 size. I think is fine. If I have air, I can start betting half pots. But I think overall, like you can do 1/3 half pots, it's fine. And I said with an 8, you don't want to use the big size. I'm not sure. I think he's calling the same, close to the same, and the pot is just getting bigger. So I think it's even better to bet half pot with an 8. You just don't care of like his queen jack that might fold. Yeah. Okay, and on the turn, I checked. Interesting. Okay, I had a read, I think, on this on his timing. Why did I check? It's good, like it's a good check. Because this guy's not gonna call enough free streets, and I can just like the money I don't gain on free streets against hands I value, I will like have them against hands that will bluff me on the river anyway. And I think I had the read he has too many gut shots play this way. I think I had the read he has way too many broadways play this way, so I just want to check and catch the river. Yeah, it should be the best move. And you can like bet the river and you represent nothing when it goes check check. Okay, he bets 3/4, easy call. You don't want to raise here, just call. And he had queen jack. Yeah, so obviously if he has queen jack and bluff it on the river, like it's a mandatory check. I like the way I played. I think it's fine. Okay. But the thing is, like, when you're going to bet on free streets, like, it's better to size up on the flop directly because the EV of like downsizing is just like let him call and bluff the river with his hands. This line is like overbluffed by Rex, so you can by optional players, so you can just call this all the time. Pocket 7 I open, just check the flop, check the turn. And the river, I think I did a mistake. Like it's something I don't see enough people doing. He never has an ace, okay? And even if he has an ace, he also have weaker hands. So the only way I can see an ace here is if I'm against someone checking an ace 3 times, plus not, I mean 2 times, plus not betting out the river. But I need to be against aces because an ace, because he will also have the weaker hands in his range. So I think I just bet 800 and like he will fold literally everything. So I don't like the. I think I did that. I really hope I did 800 because I think it's the best move. No, I checked. I don't like it. I mean, I win, but I don't like it. Like if I do 800, this guy is never calling a 10. He's never calling a queen, and I think he never has an ace. Especially if we correlate the range analysis with the timing. He checks super fast. I don't think he has any nuts. So I can just bet 700, 800, and even if he has a nuts, like he will have a lot of weaker hands. So it's either like I'm winning a little bit because he will have some trap, or I win a lot because he doesn't have an ace. So I don't like the check. It's bad. I should just overbluff here. Even with 7, and even if you have some showdown value. Okay. Definitely 9 pre-flop against Twix. Nothing special. Okay. Oh wow. Yeah, I didn't see this time. Okay. Daniel is really not scared. Like she likes to put money on the middle, from what I saw. Okay, 6-5 open. At your stakes to fold. This stakes it can be an open because of this guy. Okay. Oh, I think I did a mistake here. So the board is A7-6. I'll play a mix between small and check. Back in the days, I had like 50 or check. Now I play 1/3 check. This is bold, but I think you can play half check. It's fine. I think the same is always in the bet. Yeah, too much equity. It's too strong. Yeah, okay, I put it in the bets. Yeah. And on the turn, I check. So you need to check some flushes, okay? Because otherwise you never have flushes. So which flushes you want to check? the main flushes you want to check are flushes that blocks strong flushes. So if I have king queen, for example, of spade, blocking the queen of spade makes the of the bet a bit less attractive compared to if I have king eight of spade. So I'm gonna check more this type of hands. And the other category is the lower ones because he has more flushes, higher flushes, and also I isolating myself more against these flushes and high equity hands because if he has, I don't know, ace queen with queen of spade, he still have equity against me. So I think it should be a check. It's not going to be a check all the time, but I expect it to be a check around 50% of the time. And I don't remember like which number I put in game. I think it's like often a check. Not that often. I think like should be a check like 1/3, like 30%, 40% of the time. We'll check after. Okay. So I check, now when you check, even if you have six of spade, you're way ahead, and so you value bet. I don't think they're probably going to call enough because I have a lot of like one spade end in the C bets in my perceived region. Even if of course I will have like non-spade ends to bluff this run out. So yeah, let's see the 6-5 interested. So it's hijack against big blind. The board is ace 7-6, and you should play check 1/3 half, I guess. Check half. It can have some 3/4 and over, but I know it exists, but I don't take it because what's the point? You don't gain too much EV by choosing the size, so I'll just prefer to use my standard size. So yeah, I'm gonna mix. I don't remember what's my strat on this board. Probably like alt check or like 1/3 check. But again, like it's not gonna change that much if you choose 1/3. And I think 6-5 always bet. Oh, you actually check. Okay, I thought in game it was too strong, so I was scared like 5 minutes ago I did a mistake, but no, it seems actually fine. I just thought that it had like way too much equity, and you're gonna check all the hands, but okay, interesting. So bet small. Cool. Turn was D9, and now let's see what I said for the flushes stuff. So well, actually I did a mistake. Queen is always betting. And you check. You don't check too many flushes in general in spots. And when you have 6-5, you are checking. Around 20% of the time, so it was not 30%. Yeah, I mean it's close to 30, but whatever. So yeah, it's close. And let's see which flushes you check the most. Okay, you check the flush with the 8 spade. I really thought it was the opposite. Super interesting. Oh, interesting. Tell me in the comments why you think King 8, Queen 8 is more checked, and I will tell you. Okay, interesting. But I think 6-5 is one of the most checked with Queen 8. But I thought like 6-5 would have been checked way more. But anyway, K8-7. Yeah, it's a fold. Like you have a gut shot, really weak, just fold. And I think his size is not optimal. Like it's fine, but he plays hijack, not button. And hijack big blind, the range start to condense more on the turn when he bets big. So he needs to bet less this board. Like you UTG against big blind on Jack 10-4, for example, the strategy doesn't have overbets. Just because, as I said, the range of big blind is stronger, and if you overbet, there are too many runouts where the equity switch is too important, which means you're going to have a decrease of your actualization. The betting line is too high for you to bet. Okay, so yeah, he used 3/4, so 3/4 is fine, but just he can't use overbets. But if you play button against big blinds, and it's not the same, and big blind has to defend a lot of weaker combos, so isolate yourself less against strong hands, and then you have overbets. So that's the difference between UTG and big blind. So open is king. I played this session, I think, on the morning. That's why there are not too many regulars, because in general, like NL20K is just like always complete, but sometimes it's not. So I open both calls, check back the flop. I'm probably gonna bet close to nothing here, because even if you play freeway against directional player, well, it's not really like huge directional player. He's understanding the game well, so you can't really like just rebarrel an 8 and try to expect to be called by better. So I'll tend to overcheck. I'm probably going to close to range check here, freeway, multi-way, and And the way people should adapt is checking more, but it's never going to happen in general. So you can check probably a bit more here. Okay, he bet big. I don't. I think his play is quite well. You will see his end. I think I really like his play actually. Okay, so I call with his king. And on the river now we have a super big nightmare with 2x pots, which is a good size. And now the question is, what do we do with his king? That's a nightmare. He's not buffing my cards, so I don't have a bad removal. But the thing is, I actually prefer to block 8x suited. So I randomize 50-50, but I think I can just like choose the best ace king and call the best and fold the worst one and just fold this one. Because it's important to have the 8x off. Yeah, I randomize 50-50, but yeah. Anyway, tell to call, and this time we're a bit lucky because we won against for this. Okay. I like his play on the turn. Like, I think it's really, really well played. Because when I fall and get called, I can bluff all the time. And when I call, like, I can with a lot of weaker hands. And when I call, this guy is not going to call super often. So this is actually a super smart move. And yes, you're going to get called by a pocket 5, pocket 6s, and overpaired they check on the flop sometimes. But overall, yeah, it's really, like, really, really nice move. Really like his player. And on the river, I really like it. I think he played it in perfectly. It's just like, I'm a calling station, so I called. But I'm kidding. Okay. So as you see, he limp you raise. Oh no, he didn't. Okay, whatever. Okay. I think I would have preferred seeing myself raising. Like 1-6-1-8. I didn't know his limp fold stats, so tough to say, but it's not that bad. Like I can't raise that much because otherwise he will start seeing it. And again, it's not like classic 100 NL optional player. You need to go a bit deeper to exploit them. Yep. So okay, king queen open. Play range check on the flop, turn is a bet. Yeah, always a bet. Oh, white check. White check. Like it was low in the randomize, and I felt like you check against some king queen because when you have the queen of diamonds, when you don't have the queen of diamonds, you unblock the queen of diamonds will bet. But when you have it, you need to bet. So it's just a clear mistake. I don't know why. I probably randomized like 20, but no, I think it should be a bet. It's probably going to happen. And it's normal not to have the same thinking when you play the end and when you don't play the end. Like, especially when with my strategy of French checking, it should be a bet. I know it. So, yeah, let's see. Turn is the 7 of diamond. And as we see, king queen is always betting. Yeah, of course. Of course. And yeah, you start checking other kings, but king queen is way too strong in range. So I don't like when I play. I don't like. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know why I checked here. Like because when I play the end again, like, it seems quite easy bet. So, and I don't think Daniel will like overstop this pot specifically. So no need to check. At least he bet the river. That's great. Go with yeah. I mean he go with his hand, but like if I bet turn and bet river, he's probably calling also. So really bad check on the turn. But it's a bad thing I did. So yeah, not a good check on the turn. Like the biggest mistake of the session, I think. Okay. As you see, like we all do mistakes. Okay. And I'm fine showing these mistakes because like even if people can see it, like the players I'm playing against, I'm gonna add up super fast. So I'm not gonna do the mistakes again super often. Okay, so we're heads up against Daniel. Probably playing like 2-3 hands and I'm leaving. I was spectating this table because I wanted to jump inside. I sell most of my action. I only have 25, but you know, if he's only with a fish, like I'm gonna be winning absolutely massive here. Like let's say I play against a guy here who's better than me. Let's say I play against Linus. And we play like non-empty table with like this guy, I'm gonna win, even if Linus is on the table. And if I play like solid poker, he's not gonna have like he's gonna have an edge. For sure, but he's not gonna have like a massive edge. Yeah, but I wanted to play heads up, so yeah. It's Jack, so I'm just playing like few hands to let him the button, and after I will leave. So when you play 150 dips, this hand mix, I randomized, I don't remember, 15, 20. And this should be a call like 30% of the time. Just did the sim right now. So on the flop, key bet for small size, and ace jack is always a raise. Let's see this in the solver. So 2.5 open, and you see ace jack should be called sometimes. Okay. I don't know his strategy heads up. Maybe he's range betting. Check. I'm gonna put his size 1.4. Let's do 1.6. Should be a bit better. Let's put 6.4. It's my size. Ace jack should be in there often, and you prefer to have a spade, of course, because you have more. I put you with a spade. And my hand was. It's actually cool. Okay. Interesting. Thought it was raising sometimes, but just the fact we play deeper, like we want to check raise less. So I expect this tends to be check raise often 100 deep, but it's true like 150 I can just play this as a check call. Okay. He called, turn is a king, obviously check. Just check, check. I was super surprised in the river by his play. So I block with his jack, which should be the strat. We'll see that. And he just called with 5-4. It's crazy. I will consider calling some hands. You know, I have like some king queen, king 10. If he's raising, I'm calling all the time. So I'm super surprised by his call. Yeah, super surprised. Maybe he just see me as a bit too nitty, or yeah, he thinks I'm not calling. Like, it's not bad. It's never gonna be bad to like not raise your hand at this close. But like, I mean, you need to raise this like 100%. Because you don't have nines, don't have jacks, don't have kings. Like, what? Like, I have queen 10. Like, on a mix call and raise. I mean, you have like 95% equity. Like, you need to raise. That's a clear mistake here. So raise, call, king, obvious check. I'm gonna check a lot here on the king. So check, check, and the river where came a 5. A block with his jack. So let's put a resize and see which sizing he's taking. So I'll put, how much is the pot? Okay, I'll put 2. I'll put 4. I'll put 7. I'll put 12. And I will put 28 and 12. Okay, we have a lot of size. I want to see like how it's splitting on the river. Okay, so he doesn't use doesn't use super block. He uses only the 1/4 size, and he has some like overbet 3/4. Honestly, just play a block. Here's fine. Like you probably have just take 2 sizing is okay. And then jack always in the bet here. Yeah. And I'll be super surprised if his end is calling, but I think it's impossible. Yeah, it means like massive raise. I mean, it's always a raise. Yeah, I think like he's raising. I'm not calling his jack, but I'll call some ends here. I will call the king's region, and if I want to unblock bluffs, and the ace is actually not that great because when I have the ace of diamond, I'm blocking the calling region of flop that floats, and after check check it bluffs the river, even if you shouldn't really bluff the ace of diamond that much. So yeah, I think it's the end of the video because they wanted to heads up, which is absolutely crazy. Like the guy asked like heads up, he said yes, I can join the table. Nobody can join. So that's smart for him. Okay, I'm not gonna review his setup. So like a lot of interesting ends, especially because you know it's against fictional players, and I really like the game against fictional players, especially because it brings more money. Anyway, hope you like this video. Like and comment, and if you have any question, let me know. And see you next one. Bye guys.